Brian. Happy to do it.
So it was announced earlier this week that yourself, along with Hrudey and Paul Colborne, have acquired part of the Clippers. Your name is one that instantly twigged with me, familiar to Merritt Centennials fans, in the fact that your son played here for 81 games back in the late 2000s. I hate to say that, but that seems like so long ago.
Yeah, I know. Ryan had a good year and a half there in Merritt, and had some good memories, and had a real good rookie season. Was named Rookie of the Year that year.
And what exactly is Ryan up to now?
Ryan plays out here in Calgary at the Mount Royal University in the ACAC. They recruited him heavily, and he was able to get a scholarship there. He after he left Merritt, he went and played for the Calgary Canucks in the AJHL. And last year had a real solid season. He was named to the All-Star team and was also named the Calgary Canucks top defenseman last year. So he's really blossomed into quite a nice player.
And is he looking at playing his full collegiate career there with Mount Royal and then wrapping things up? What is he looking at going into?
Well, I think so. I mean, it sounds like Mount Royal University is going to be joining CIS in 2 years, and that'll only be Ryan's third year. So I think he's excited to try and play CIS, and you never know. He's actually going into broadcasting as well, so maybe he can follow in the old man's footsteps. But I know he has some ambitions to maybe try Europe and see if there's a professional opportunity in Europe.
Now, do you think that he might look at something like that simply for the experience?
Well, to go play in Europe?
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, why not? I mean, I encourage all kids, including my own, to take hockey as far as it'll take you.
Well, and if he's looking at the broadcast, I think maybe I better watch out too.
Yeah, actually, he's getting pretty good at it. I hate to say it. I'm trying to get him on the other side of the mic so he can be an announcer. So, yeah, look out.
Now, in terms of getting involved with the Nanaimo Clippers, how did this sort of come together for you guys?
Well, it's funny, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, we just had a breakfast with Kenny Wagner, who is one of the co-owners of Nanaimo, just to talk hockey with him, Kelly, myself, and Paul, and just get some insight. And I put together a little group of guys, the three of us, that were actively looking and seeing if we could get involved with hockey. And, it just sort of evolved into an opportunity. And in the last little while, it came together where Ken came to us and wanted us to join his group.
And what's the motivation for you guys to get involved in a BC Hockey League team? I mean, you're all Alberta guys here. Is it have something to do with the fact that both Ken and Bill are also Alberta guys? Like, why was it that you were looking at the BC Hockey League?
I think the big part to it is we're all hockey guys. Paul, I'm not sure if you're aware, but Paul's son Joe Colborne is a high draft pick of the Boston Bruins. I mean, he's a hockey guy. Hrudey played 15 years in the NHL. He's a hockey guy. I've been involved in hockey for 30 years at the NHL level. So we're all hockey guys. We're all passionate about hockey. And, we just want to get into a situation where we can contribute back to hockey and help kids, help them get to the next level, whether they get to the Western Hockey League, whether they get to the NCAA.
Were you looking at opportunities outside of this one in Nanaimo, though? Like, was it something that you guys have been exploring in different avenues, or were you thinking specifically about the BCHL, knowing your experience, of course, having Ryan play here?
We didn't look anywhere beyond the BCHL. We feel that the BCHL is the premier junior A league in the country. And there's a lot of upsides. You just go through the list of kids that move on and play not only in the college ranks but in the professional ranks. So we really focused on the BCHL, and we looked around at a couple of opportunities as well. As you know, there's different opportunities that come available to BCHL, and this one fit for us.
And in terms of the Nanaimo Clippers, the day-to-day operations, the hands-on type of thing, how much are you going to leave that up to management that's in place now, or how much are you planning on getting involved from the three of you's point of view?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, basically, it's status quo. We're not doing anything. We're not changing anything as far as what's going on. We're getting into the playoff run now. Our boys right now have been playing very well the last little while. I think at this point, we're 5-3, 0-2 the last 10 games. We're on a 4-game big road trip, and we got a big point last night. So we're focusing right now on just sort of being supportive. We want to get in the playoffs, and hopefully we can get some excitement back in our building, the Frank Crane, and get people excited about the team in playoffs and win a couple rounds.
Now, obviously, you don't go into a situation like this where you're investing in a franchise without doing your research. What do you guys know about Nanaimo as a market, and what have the current other owners told you about it, and how do you expect that you can grow that?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, Nanaimo is it's obviously one of the premier franchises in the BCHL. It's been around for almost 40 years now. They've won championships. They get good crowds. They're very supportive of the team, over basically through the history of the team. So, we're pretty excited about that opportunity with Nanaimo and the size of the city and whatnot. And maybe by having a guy like Kelly with the high profile that he is, and Kelly has indicated that he's going to definitely be a little more hands on with us and be a face and come out to games, and as well as myself. That I think that in itself lends us to have a little more exposure.
Now, the other big question that comes up for a lot of people when they look at this situation is that Bill Bestwick has been there as a mainstay within the Clippers organization. How does this affect Bill's future at this point?
Well, I think for Bill, it's basically he just sold his shares out at this point. He's currently a counselor, in Nanaimo. This doesn't change Bill at all as far as the day-to-day operations. He's still running the organization. He's on the road right now with the guys. So we don't see any changes at this point, and we just want to win some playoff rounds and keep moving forward.
Now, how about the league level? Obviously, they've been made aware of what's been going on with this change in the ownership structure in Nanaimo. Are you guys looking at being involved on a governor's level as well with the BCHL and moving forward with helping the exposure of the league too?
I think so. I mean, at this point, Ken Wagner is our governor, and him and I, we talk probably 5 times a day based on what's going on and with the team and stuff. And at the end of the day, I think Ken would like to probably down the road, hand me the governor's job and let me, become more of the guy that's sort of in. Ken's got a young family here in Calgary, wants to spend a little more time at home, so my family's growing up, moved on a bit. So I think down the road, and again, it may not be 1 or 2 years, but maybe down the road, you'll see that happen.
So are you guys looking at this as a long-term investment then?
No question. We're not in here to be here for a few months. We're here for the long haul. And, Kelly and my career at Hockey Night in Canada doesn't last forever. So, we want to look at, staying involved in hockey. And this is a great opportunity.
Now, obviously, since you guys do have other jobs, how much do you think that this may or may not take away from those positions?
This won't affect us as far as our Hockey Night in Canada positions. I mean, Kelly is, we're committed. That's our number one priority. This basically is an investment, investment for us as far as, getting involved with the team. We'll spend some time here in Alberta, me and Kelly and myself, looking at some kids. We want to pick up the recruiting a little bit more in the Alberta area, maybe even to the Saskatchewan area, and I think that's where we can help out initially, is starting to look for kids, because we're already here and we can do that.
Now, obviously, when it comes to the BCHL, Dave, you had a loyalty to the Merritt Centennials, knowing that Ryan played here. Is it a good thing that Merritt's in the interior and Nanaimo's in the coast?
My heart's with Merritt for sure, and they've done a nice job there this year. They're having a good year. They're going to make the playoffs. So I'm always watching the board, seeing how they're doing, and they've done a great job there. I'm happy for them. And you know what? We beat them Merritt the other night 6-3. So it was a little bit bittersweet.
We look forward to seeing the league finals. Merritt against Nanaimo.
That would be sweet, wouldn't it?
No kidding. Dave, before I let you run, anything else that you wanted to add about joining the ownership group in the Nanaimo Clippers and now being involved in the BCHL at the ownership level?
Well, we're just, we're pleased that Kenny came to us and we were able to put our synergies together and hopefully we can, grow not only the Nanaimo franchise, but also, on the island and with Kelly on board, he's such a high-profile guy that, it only lends us to better for the league and just gives it a little more exposure. And I think